I was having a panic attack in the parking lot. I'm long like a shitload of Bitcoin. I was just ignoring my signal. So, next time I do that, Jonesy, maybe you should hold my hand. What do you think? You doing all right?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I actually owned a bunch of $T coins, but I sold them a couple weeks ago, so I'm feeling good. But those are getting crushed today.
I stopped myself out of Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm kidding. That's what you do when the trend breaks. We obviously reviewed that. But it doesn't really matter. Let's just get on with our day. We don't sit here and panic. Well, for the last 3 days, we've been selling. We've been selling since Friday. We went from 20 longs to like half of that in real-time alerts. Yesterday, we said there's 2.5% downside, and that's what we just got. Let's get into the top 3 things. What do you do now? Oh, my God, it's below the published low end of my range. That's really bad. Right? It's really bad when it's below trend. And we reviewed this earlier in the week. When it breaks trend, that's bad. Okay? It broke trend on accelerating volume and accelerating volatility. The volatility of Bitcoin has gone to 85th percentile this morning if you look at the Bitcoin tracker product. Again, I told you what I wasn't going to do, and I'm still not going to do it. I'm not touching this thing. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this thing can go down 30, 40% because Joe Kernan said so. Those are your top 3 things.
Okay, number 1 question here. What do you think it is?
Shitcoin.
Yep, Bitcoin. Elon is not a big fan anymore, I guess. And got the hodlers a little worried. But this is the question.
Is that why?
Well, that was all the chatter this weekend, right?
It must be why, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that it went straight up and it would correct or anything like that.
Or it didn't have anything to do. I think the big thing was they're not. They were going to take Bitcoin to buy Tesla cars. Now they said no. And then he said he might sell the company's Bitcoin because of the issues with it, mining it and environmental concerns.
I never, and I hope no one ever bought Bitcoin based on any of that nonsense. I mean, we've been long Bitcoin since October the 12th, I think it was, because of Quad 2. We don't have to deal with all that bullshit, or him, right? He's got a lot of bullshit that comes out of his mouth, right? Well, why would I? I'm not going to waste $1 in my life on that guy, ever, right? He might be big time in your mind, but I don't care. I don't care. A lot of people think they're big time. The fact of the matter is that we are going to risk manage this situation. My model's price, volume, volatility. Now, how many people that are trading Bitcoin know that the volume on a day-over-day basis, coin volume was up 158%, and versus the 1-month average, it was up 73%. So volume spike on a trend breakdown. Why do I build it that way? Because that's called a similar set. Volume spikes when you break trend. Now, most people don't know what the trend is. See that? They don't know what the trend is. But I know what the behavior is on a trend break, hence building the trend. Got that? So that's why I wasn't buying any damn dips in Bitcoin. It's not a dip until it gets back above the trend. Same with the NASDAQ. Elon didn't poo-poo the NASDAQ. I wouldn't care if he did either. Bitcoin is now bearish trend, okay? So, and it may just be for a day. We'll have to see. So the money line is 49,006, okay? So that's trend. What was support is now resistance. Now, the reason why I'll keep it neutral and not put it, it's bearish trend right now. It's below it, right? It's because I'm going to wait and watch. Like, what if the guy sneezes tonight? I mean, and it goes above that, and everyone says that's why. That's not why Bitcoin was going up to begin with. So again, it's been going up because of Quad 2. Dollar down, long Bitcoin is a very obvious correlation. In fact, the correlation's higher on something like break-evens with Bitcoin than anything else. How many people that are long Bitcoin even know what break-evens are? I don't care. You don't need to care either. Don't forget, in the crypto tracker, BLOK, the Maestro, GBTC. GBTC, remember, Jonesy, was the first one to break. They're all bearish trend. Ethereum and ETH are not. So Ethereum and ETH are the places that I'd be buying the dip, not there. Why? I don't have to deal with the bullshit story about Elon. Like, whether or not what he's doing matters doesn't matter to me. Why don't I just go buy the thing that isn't bearish trend? This is very consistent with how I do everything. I do not delineate between buying cattle futures, lean hogs, and silver, right? I don't care. We shouldn't care. But if you fall in love with a Bitcoin, or if you fall in love with a shitcoin, or you fall in love with, I don't know, Doge, it's kind of the same mistake that I talk about with stocks. You don't fall in love with stocks. You get yourself in a position where you can make some good decisions. We'll see how it goes. This thing whips around a lot. Implied volatility right now is at a premium, obviously, but what really matters in Bitcoin, guys, show the tracker product one more time, is that we're in the 80th percentile right now. We shot back up, realized vol's at 73%. So that's not for me. I don't buy stuff when volatility is breaking out towards 73, 80, 85%. and implied vol is not really moving because it's chasing realized. So realized vol, so again, to review, why did this happen? Why did this break? 99% of you are going to say Elon. Whatever. You could say Shelon. I would say, okay, it's She-Man. It's He-Man. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. Okay? So again, what really happened was that the price, the volume, and the volatility, the vol of vol changed. Okay? Right? Price down, volume up, volatility up. That is bad. Next time that happens, that's bad. Until this stops, it doesn't matter what he said, because he said he wasn't bad. He said it wasn't Elon. If you want updates daily on BTC, you got to pay for the product at $10 a month. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, what is the alternative? Letting a bunch of hodlers yell at you on Twitter? I mean, think about a fractal risk range. So when you think about it fractally, so it's dynamic. It's happening right there, just right there. That's what's happening to the water right there. It's got turbulence, it's got Brownian motion, it's got, all of a sudden, it's got some wind behind it, it's changed. It's constantly changing, right? Get comfortable with that. It's also called getting comfortable being uncomfortable. What's bearish in something is when it starts to signal lower highs from its all-time closing highs. In the case of Bitcoin, it doesn't close. So it's a little different. But if we just fire off a couple more things on Bitcoin. So let's just show the Bitcoin risk range. Just show it. I mean, freaking nailed it. So much data in there, man. Imagine you got to pay attention to all that. I pay attention to all this for everything that ticks from cattle to corn to Bitcoin. Price, volume, volatility data, okay? That's what we're paying attention to. Because guess what? 99% of people, 99.999% of people that own Bitcoin aren't watching me talk about this right now. They have no effing idea on anything that I just said. Zero. Like zero. Think about that. They just have a belief system, right? So know where your risk range is, know how you calculate it. You're just seeing all my screens on one thing, okay? So total open interest, non-commercial net long, asset manager net long, this is what it is, There's no the reason. There are multiple factors in why market prices go up and when they go down. I think the number one reason why Bitcoin went down is that it went up.
Although, there are a lot of narratives as to why it's going down. Janet Yellen, there's this article about Tether, but the reality is, I think why the Bitcoin tracker is valuable is it leaves all the narratives to the side, right, and then gives you a quantitative look at the asset. And that's, I think, what a lot of these people miss, that there are financial characteristics to this asset class that exist outside of any narrative. Right?
So I think the greater lesson too, Jonesy, there is that when you look at anything in markets, that should be, again, the discipline of your process, the rigor of your process. Again, that should be base pack. This game, think about that. You have to go through all that before, I have to go through all that. You can do whatever you want to do before I make a decision on everything.